hustle for the cash, so it's hard to knock it. Everybody got their own thing, currency chasing worldwide.
Thank you for tuning in to Gang Talk Radio. Skipp Townsend and Sister Herron. And you may be wondering where is Sister Herron? Well, she's not here today, so we give our thoughts and prayers to Sister Herron.
Yes.
She's resting, so appreciate everybody tuning in. So my name is Skipp Townsend, and I am the co-host of Gang Talk Radio, and I will be hosting this evening without Sister Herron, and my co-host is going to be right here, a brother who's been here a number of times before, so just want to say thank you for being here. But before we get started, as always give honor and praise to God. I'm just truly grateful to be alive, grateful to approach the microphone and be not dead or in jail. You know, I never want to be dead or in jail. So I'm grateful for that. One of the things we always do as well is always give thanks to the people who came last week.
Yeah.
And, you know, at my age, I'll be sitting here thinking like, man, who was it? But last week, I want to say, give a shout out to Marcus. Brother brought in a young girl named Leah. Leah, she comes out the San Bernardino area, and I want to give a shout out to Marcus and Leah because she had some very powerful questions. And we had a young lady, Petra Fontello, who spent 12 years in state prison and 2 years in federal prison, and was able to help Leah with, you know, some of the questions she had about people joining gangs or wanting to be from gangs and really not. In other words, it's like MC Ren say they holler in Compton. No, Ice Cube said they holler in Compton, but they move to Riverside, you know. So, yeah, we just want to give a shout out to Leah, Marcus. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Petra, for joining us on the air as well via phone. So if you don't mind, brother, introduce yourself. I said you've been here several times, but I think it would be really great if you
introduce myself.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my name is Terrence. They also call me Pookie, as you know. I'm from out the Leimert Park area, Crenshaw District, Community Roller 40s area. I'd like to thank God, too, for another day, you know, to have purpose. It's always a privilege and an honor to be here. I thank you guys for inviting me. I brought a young sister of mine named Tylese. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow her to introduce herself.
She looked like she could sing.
I can't sing at all.
Well, go ahead and talk then.
My name is Tylese, and I am from LA, born and raised, and now I'm originated in the Leimert Park area.
Okay. Well, excellent. We're going to get deeper than that. You got the short answers, but I got the long questions, so we'll get deeper than that. There's a beautiful young lady who has come to this show several times, and she never sits in the area where we can catch her on camera. And I'm waving at her, talking to her and stuff, and this evening she joined us this evening, and I want to know if the beautiful young lady would share with us her name. Beautiful young lady, please take your hands away and say hi if she would do that.
You think that's camera shy?
Miracle. It's going to take a miracle.
Got a little camera shy.
You know, there's a song about you, Miracle. Denise Williams said, it's going to take a miracle. So,
She's like, no.
Right. So, Brother Terrence, you know, you've come several times to the show, and it's always good to see you. I appreciate you bringing the young lady. But, you know, there's several things going on in the community right now. There's been a number of shootings in the city of Compton. There was an officer-involved shooting, a deputy-involved shooting in the Nickerson Gardens just yesterday. However, a week ago, there was a big I don't want to say riot, but it was an uprising in the Nickerson Gardens last week, and one of the basketball players who now plays for the Clippers, Zach Randolph, was taken to jail as well, you know, multi-millionaire, and they say he was selling weed, and I just find that hard to believe, you know, when you get that NBA salary, and it doesn't take but about 5 or 6 years to get retirement, so he's eligible for retirement, which will be probably $1 million a year, and I can't see him out there selling $50, $100 worth of weed. It just don't make sense. So with all the shootings and killings going on, and I want to say rest in peace to a young man, Dwayne Childs and Kevin Cattouse. They were killed just this afternoon, about 2 o'clock on 84th and on the east side. So with all these things going on, brother, let me ask you before we get to your guests, are there any solutions? Are there any things that we could do, man, to stop it, you know, with all the stuff we're talking about, the black and the white, and what President What's-His-Face said, and what can we do amongst ourselves, though?
Well, before I elaborate fruitfully on that right there, I have to thank and say let's put a prayer out for Brother Umar, because he was originally supposed to be on the show. He had caught the flu as well and sick. And I want to thank Tylese, because she took a last minute. 5 minutes ago, I asked her, because she come on the show.
Wait, well, that might be the story right there. What was you doing 5 minutes ago, Tylese?
5 minutes ago, she's on her way home.
Right.
I asked her to come along with me, so she willingly came along. And
that's the power of you, bro.
That's the power of God. Right? Right.
Well, God put that power in you, man.
Right. Thank you.
So you're the vehicle that God uses.
Yes, sir.
Right.
And a solution to that, that's quite. I'm speechless right now.
Right. Well, I mean, you brought the young lady.
Right.
God used you to bring her.
Right.
Let me ask you, Tylese, I don't want to ask your age, but I'm just going to put your age out there. She's 19, y'all, even if she's not. But at that age, the age that you are right now, what are some of the things that you see would be the solution to stopping the killing, at least amongst ourselves?
I'd say like I say a lot of us are like you trying to be better than the next. And sometimes it's not always gang related. It's always who's better than the next in disrespect and respect. So I'd say that if we start respecting at least each other a little more, our fellow friends, not, I would say two-faced. That's how I'd say it. I'd say that it'd be a lot more easier to get along, at least between us, before we try to get along with anyone of the other race.
Right. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times it is amongst friends. I do an anger management class, and I tell people all the time, I'm getting you ready for the guy that you don't know on the bus or the train or something that's going to be disrespectful. But 9 out of 10, that's not who you're going to be fighting. That's not where your enemy's going to come from.
Never.
Even though I want to get you prepared for that person you don't know, 9 out of 10, next argument's going to be with somebody who you care about, somebody who cares about you.
Right.
So, what are some of the things that for it's ego. I'm not going to take I'm not going to put a word in your mouth, but what I heard was ego.
Right.
Yeah,
it's ego. That's what's taking place. Real tense right now. It's real strong out here in society right now. Personal egos. Everybody wants to be the one. Pride and ego is what is damaging all of us. I have to live up to this image. A solution could be to where individuals, and it starts with all of us, especially where we're at in our own communities. Those of us that even been through the trenches. As I always say, you got a lot of brothers and our sisters out there that's poisoning the youth. Giving them false information, false history. Right. Ego comes to play, and then they mad because their lie has been tainted by the truth and exposed by the truth. And to see that is not the route and not the path, not the one that I would encourage anybody to go down. If they on the path and on that pathway going down the path road of destruction, what I would do is I would share options with them.
Right.
Give them the pros and cons. Give them the consequences, because they may not be able to see, for themselves what the consequences are and how really detrimental and serious they are till they get in that position.
Right. So a lot of people facing 20, 30 years.
Lots.
And then they think about it.
Right. I did.
Right. I did too.
Right.
I did in 1998. I was like, oh my God, what is this?
Right.
Right. So do you think it's a maturity? Do you think that at a certain age, people just aren't mature enough to make those complicated decisions on how they're going to deal or respond to the world and respond to life?
Yeah, I think we need to re-educate ourselves. I think some of the teachings of the ancients we need to apply to the present. Adulthood, for me, what I've learned, what I was taught as a child, it starts really at 12 years old.
It starts at 12?
At 12.
I was told it started at 2, because I'm looking at my mama, I'm looking at my uncles and them, and I'm like, oh, she said something slick. He slapped the dog out of her. That's how I'm supposed to get down.
Right, okay.
My mother tell me at 5 and 6 years old, somebody hit me, I need to hit them back.
Right.
So if that's the case, then before I even got 12, I already knew, punch him in the throat.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, I mean, how do we... Okay, so we got a good example right here, Miracle, right here.
Right.
What is the legacy... Hi, Miracle. She looked at me and said, what's the legacy going to be? What do you leave her? What do you tell her? When she leaves the house every day, what is the message you want her to take?
I want her to know the truth.
About?
I don't want to sugarcoat nothing. About what, like, I don't have the answer.
So she ain't gonna get no Easter clothes, no Christmas presents.
You know, I don't celebrate holidays.
Okay.
I stopped that in the penitentiary.
Okay.
You know, and I don't condone. I used to judge people when I stopped celebrating them. I used to bash because of the information that I got. But now each his own. But
right.
For me and mine, I don't do it. If she want to grow up and then she want to take the tradition, that'll be on her. But I'm going to teach her the truth about it all.
Right.
You know, okay. Easter bunnies don't lay eggs.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, because it's a chicken egg. That used to mess me up as a kid. I used to say, Mama, that chicken and that Easter bunny, they didn't. Oh, the baby got a phone. Ain't that something? Said, turn the phone down, and Miracle, turn the phone up. Ain't that something, Miracle?
Wait, can't get it.
Let her answer. It's her phone. Okay, my bad, man. I can't tell you how to raise, you know. But so let me ask you then, what are some of the ways to turn down or tune down the egos?
I say that you know that a lot more people have your back. You have support no matter where it is.
Do you find that to be true? Think about it right now. If you need a support on something,
no, not
where
at all.
do you go? Where do you go for
I have
support?
my mother and father.
Oh, you got both of them together?
Mm-hmm. And I have my little brother, I have big sister. So I have...
Your mother and father are still together?
Mm-hmm, like 22 or 23 years.
And that's that is something extraordinary.
And that is
do you realize how blessed you are?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Right.
I really do. Because I see, of course, social media, the way people talk down about their fathers my age, and I'd be like, if I could tell the guys my age that have kids or younger that a daughter needs you more than anything, I could not stress that more. Of course, the son needs you, but a daughter, you're her first everything.
Right.
You show her how to be treated like a lady.
Right.
So I love my father. I'm a daddy's girl, so I think they mean the most.
Yes, indeed. Really good. What about Miracle? Miracle, are you a daddy's girl?
She has an ego to that boy.
She want that phone now.
Whatever she wants it.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So, what about you? Are you gonna tell the truth to? I don't know. I'm just looking at you. You're just glowing. So I don't think you have any children. Because something about that glow just goes away once the kids start coming, right? So
I don't have none.
So, but in the event you do, years coming, is there anything that you've learned from your mother and father that you will be able to transfer to your children so that they don't become a part of the ego, that they don't become a part of the foolishness and keep this cycle of ignorance that's going in our community?
Sometimes my mother and father, my father is a loving person, so I just know that the way that he showed me is like not everything is that you have to be so hard on. Like my dad, he's just a quiet person, so I've learned a lot from that, how to go upon different situations like that, and how to look at the world when I'm coming with situations. But my mother, she's the hard person. Like, she's the one that's going to snap, the go up, the loud one. And I'm like, I have both of that in me. So I have a soft, calm side, and then I have a rowdy side that I can get to. And I would want my child to know that it's a time and a place for everything. Right. And not everything you need a reaction to. Right. Not everything you don't have to stand on your high horse for. Some things you just learn, take into consideration that someone is trying to help you grow that's not in your family.
Right. So, I wouldn't use the word snap, though, because they got a TV program for when ladies snap that you make it to the A&E channel. And,
no.
Yeah, so don't do no snapping. Well, listen.
I believe it is. The ego, for me, is something that I do need. Right. But I believe it should be deflated. It shouldn't overpower me. It shouldn't be the force that controls me. Rather than the principles that should be operating that I should live by. And how do I interpret principles? For instance,
well, how do you interpret ego?
For instance, an example, my grandfather, he gave me a principle a long time ago that I just started practicing not too long ago. And that principle was sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me. But I grew up with an auntie that called me all kind of names, you know what I'm saying, and growing up, and you somewhere, me and you standing in the store, you like, what you looking at, Buster? You know what I mean? My ego flares up, and I say, I got to check you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's difficult for me to practice, humility. because you didn't put your hands on me. It ain't nothing but a word. You know what I mean? And by me reacting to that, by you calling me a butt, one of us is going to end up hurt. You know what I mean? And then if I harm you, guess where I'm at? I'm in prison. Over you just calling me a word.
But let me ask you a question, though. And I always think about this. We talk about ego, but is there a difference in ego and confidence? So here's the thing. Right. So if there's, say, the guy who called you a buster, this hypothetical guy in the store calls you a buster, and you size him up. Have you ever sized somebody up before?
Right.
And you sized him up, you looked at his shoulders, look at his little bitty hands, little bitty feet, you know, small ears, like, man, I could punch you one punch and knock you out. Right. Do you still bring that ego up to challenge him, or because that's ego? But I got confidence when I look at this person. Your arms not big. I look at people's arms right here because I've been hit before, right? So I look right here. If they got a thick arm right here, I'm like, ooh, I better get them first, right? Not right here, but right here, that solid part, that forearm. So I look at them. If I see that forearm is not developed and you're not gonna knock me out with one punch, I start laughing at we ain't got to go there, and you know what I mean, because of my confidence. Right. So how does that play? Can I teach my children to have confidence without ego? Right. Is that possible? What y'all think?
I believe that they should be taught to have confidence, not overconfidence, but some confidence. I believe that even self-respect. I mean, you call a person out their name, okay, you let it maybe slide one time, but if they do it again, I believe the approach is how I approach you and say it until it starts boiling up. Now, what do I do? Walk away, or do I continue to argue to prove a point?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And confidence, for me personally, I don't estimate nobody.
Right, underestimate
nobody. I feel as though that you might whoop me, so I'm gonna go all the way out. Right. That's why, you know, that's based on, to me, what we all. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna say all, but fear. Fear is the motivator, because you're going to get me, I better take off first.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And there's some confidence in me, because I'm confident that I'm fixing to put hands on you.
Right.
Real well. You know what I mean? You know, that's how I see it. But, you know, it's a balance. It's how do I balance it all? How do I teach them to really practice these principles and really live for what the principles meaning is based on?
Right.
And not what I really think and interpret it, because I just learn daily.
Right.
Well,
what's your perception on that? Talking about the ego and the confidence.
I think that my ego, I wouldn't. For me, my ego is not like all up there mighty type thing, but I know that where I stand in my perspective of everybody that sees me. So therefore, I say my confidence. I'm confident in know what I'm capable of. I don't know what the next person is. Like what he says, you just have to, you can't undermine anybody. Somebody might be smaller than you, but they going to go harder because you're bigger than them.
Right.
So I need to go harder because I know you about to put your all in this. For you disrespecting me, there's a time and a place for that. Like in the store, you call me something, if we keep escalating and you keep on going back and forth with me, then we might get where it's going to get bad. But other than that, you call me a name, call your name, and I'm going to just...
Why I can't accept it? Right. Why I can't accept a buster in the store when I look at somebody and I look at them, whether I underestimate them or whether I got a fear, why I can't say, bless your heart, that is so funny, and just keep going about my business? Right. Why I can't do that?
Because even though that you're not a buster, it's just I guess what you say, your ego or your just like something in you, like you're not about to just get away from calling me anything. Like I can't just let you sit here and call me a name and think that that's cool. I just can't. I'm not gonna hit you or beat you down for it, but I'm not about to walk out. It's bless you at the end of the day, but you're not gonna get away that easy.
Mm-hmm. Why? I don't want you to snap.
It's something. Yeah, it's something.
See, you got. God has truly blessed you,
right?
And you telling me that 9 o'clock tonight you walk into 7-Eleven and it's a girl in there. She's smart. She a little bit bigger than Miracle, right? But she got a big old head and she like you was a buster and she keeps saying and keep pointing her finger. You mean tell me you gonna punch on that little girl?
I'm going to go. I'm gonna exchange words and then I'm gonna go towards that next step.
All right, you need my anger management class. Right. Because let me tell you, there are two consequences. There are two consequences, right, for me. And I know I could be dead or in jail.
Right.
And this little bitty girl with with a big old head that
Not
called
worth
me
your
a
life.
buster, she could, when I go to punch on her, she could pull out a gun and shoot me. And it's just not worth it.
It's not.
Or I could just want to punch her one time, but I accidentally hit her in a position where she passes away.
Right.
And now I'm like, man, that wasn't my intention. But according to the judge, well, they'll say, well, if you felt threatened, why you didn't call the police? I mean, I don't call the police. That's number one. But so what should I do? How could I stop it from? But then not only that, how can I teach my kids the same thing?
Right.
How can I teach them? Because they're the ones right now who, whenever they leave the house, there's a nervous condition I got going on. Like, man,
Right.
are they going to be dead or in jail?
Right.
Because these are two 19-year-olds that was
Right.
just killed
Right.
today.
Right.
But even, I can't even say that, because in Compton, this guy's in his garage. And he's 51 years old.
Right.
Somebody lifted the garage up and said, hey, where are you from?
Yeah.
And shot and killed
Right.
him in his own garage.
Right.
So at 51 years old, I'm not even safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't get it.
Right.
Right.
She knows what she's doing, man.
Right.
She knows it's on the radio show. So, it's a lot to talk about, a lot going on. The homicides. But I even missed out in saying that one of our own ceasefire brothers, LeVan Evans, he was killed Monday morning. He's in the city of Long Beach. He's riding a bicycle, him and his friend, and somebody hits their bikes and knocks his friend down. So LeVan jumps on the hood of the car, and he's holding on, trying to get the guy to stop.
Right.
And the guy's doing a hit and run. Gets to the light right by the 710 freeway, hits the brakes, LeVan goes flying off, and he's killed.
Right.
So, a lot of people saying, okay, well, LeVan died a hero or whatever, but for me, I believe that his family, his sisters, his daughters, they need him.
Right.
So I definitely want to keep his name in prayer, but
Right.
how far,
Condolences to the family.
definitely condolences to the family, but how far do we go in helping other people? Is there a limit that we're supposed to go to in helping people? And I really want to ask you, because just like you picked up the lovely young lady right here,
right.
I know that you're consistently helping people up and down this Vernon corridor.
And there is a limit, because some people don't want to be helped, and I can't force the help on them. I can't force myself to guide them. What it'll do, it'll stress me out.
Right.
I'll put expectations on myself and also them. Like, I think that I can change the world when I really can't. That's where the ego comes into play too. The ideal that I had no power, choice, or control over anybody else's life.
Right.
So I have to learn when it's a spirit moving me to say help, or when it's me moving me to say help.
Right.
Because the results will show.
I always ask people too, what spirit do you enter into this conversation, this relationship, or this interaction? What spirit do you bring into it? So let me ask you, do you give back to the community? What do you do in the community that you think will be helping others who you might have influence
Like,
over?
do I give back? I mean, as of now, I wouldn't say I give back, because I feel like I have nothing to give except for maybe my time. Other than that, then I for sure would, because that's what my father is about, is giving back. He used to work at Shields for Families, and they help you find something. He just was IT, but he was still, the resources was there.
Right.
So I know where his good intentions are. So that's where I come from. So I know that I'm always have good intentions, especially helping community. Now, I might not give a bum $1, but I don't mind giving my time to someone younger than me, or the same age as me, or older than me.
Right.
Just either ear to talk to, just my opinion on something, just anything. So I would give back. As of right now, I'll give back as much as I can. But of course, when I get me right, I will give back more.
And one thing about it, one thing about it is I'm glad that she remained humble with her answer, and it went unnoticed, because she gives back more than what she can see herself.
I was going to ask that.
Right.
I was going to ask that, but I'm glad you know. So you could, might be able to enlighten her. So what I was going to say is more generic.
Right.
I was going to say, well, I heard you say that you have a younger was it a sister?
Brother.
Younger brother, right? But I know that if you live in a house with other houses on that block, there are little kids that's looking up to you. I know that if you recently just graduated from wherever, or if you're in Southwest College or attending Cal State LA, there's somebody looking up to you right now and never going to tell you that they want to wear the pants like that, or they want your hair like, look at big old hoop earrings. There's some little girl going to put some big old hoop earrings in, and it's not because of anybody other than you.
I have a nephew, and he does, and that right there is the biggest truth ever, because he follows in our footsteps, because his father's not there. So he has my dad and he has my brother that he looks up to. My brother's 17, so he don't know no better, and now you got someone younger looking at him to teach him right from wrong, yes or no. So we don't even notice it. I don't notice it.
Because there's a lot of shit, you know, in all our communities. We have a variety of sisters, brothers that's living in the same, how can I put this?
That baby's so smart.
In the same hood, right?
That baby's so smart. She about to press that volume.
That's what she knows how to do. But what I'm saying, what she does is that she, you know, her examples by her being a young lady that goes to work. That's giving back.
Okay,
because
where you work
somebody's
at?
seeing it.
Right now I don't have a job, but I work anything legal. Like I just did construction under the table because I just
did construction. What kind of construction?
I was just building fences.
What you mean just building fences?
But she was doing it.
It's just.
Are you interested in construction?
I'm not interested in construction because I've learned like how hard it is. Like it really is. It's really hard work. So I learned that that's not where I want to be. Maybe inside the construction thing, but as in for down there getting dirty, I can do it. Don't get me wrong, I'll do it if it needs to get done because I know the bigger object. But I would rather not.
But she's doing that than being on the pole.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. So she's leading by example that you can do something in life other than sell yourself.
You say that like it's so easy just to go to work and do that, but for me, I've been looking for a job now like almost a month and a half, maybe 2, and it's like you just can't find nothing.
I got something for you right here. First of all, this is a woman right here, just 7 years in prison, a beautiful woman at that. And you go ahead and look through there, and there's a class when I leave here that I'm going to where I can get you in construction. I'm telling you now that I get calls from sheet metal iron workers and sprinkler fitter systems, because most of the women that we make them electricians because of Big John, who I work with. So they're like, Skip, can we have, and I had 3 young ladies who were veterans, and they was like, Skip, they black, they veterans, so that satisfies the diversity. They need more women. There's 3% women in construction trade, so they're willing to pay a lot of money for a woman, and she's black, and she comes from the community. Oh no, you're a commodity. You're a high commodity. So don't write yourself out that equation.
No, I don't. But it's just I seem like it's so hard. And then of course we have social media that glorifies everything that it's not supposed to do. Like you have
like lean.
I'm talking about like you have a girl named like you have.
Pretty Ho.
Yeah, Pretty Ho. That's out here that everybody glorifies.
That's my homegirl daughter.
They glorify it. And she's probably a beautiful person, but it's just you glorifying the wrong thing. Stripping, you got all the money out and everything. You got bands up to your ear, and you be like, man, I get $300 a week. What am I going to do? So I might as well.
But then how many cases she got too, though?
Exactly.
How many court cases she got? And then let me just share that her mom left her for 8 years while she was in prison. So she did 2 terms in prison. She left her for 2 years once and 8 years. So this is this is what happens. You know, this is why Pretty Ho or whatever runs to what she runs to. And then look at her partner who's in jail, you know who her daddy is, who just did 12 years. My partner, Trey D from the East Sider. So, you know, because you said it, the daddy's not there. These babies should be daddy's girl. Pretty Ho daddy's did 12, 15 years. So when we look at that the father's not in a relationship, that's why some of these things, that's why that door opens. I can't say that's why it happens, but that's why that door is open for now little slick talker to come in and say, hey, mommy, I'll put you up on something.
But guess what? The whole thing is about little slick talkers, the same person from the same hood. That's what I'm saying.
And he ain't had no daddy.
That's where we come when we start in the era from our experiences. Not to say that I'm a saint and I didn't do stuff in the past, you know what I mean? But learning from that, and then we all apply it. So when such and such either ends up deceased or does go to jail and has this child left, we mold them. We help take care of them and raise them. We help guide them. Even the young sisters, you see a young sister out there, you don't disrespect her. That's your sister, man.
Right.
She's part of our community. She's part of us.
Right.
Let's help build some kings and queens around here. Not no pimps, prostitute, bangers. Okay, we did all of that. I mean, what is that going to get you?
So I think the failure comes easy. Like, as you just said, you looking for something to do, looking for a career, looking to get into something, but it's hard.
Right, yeah.
So what comes easier? The failure comes easier.
Right.
Gravitating to the pole, gravitating to the streets comes a lot easier because it's always there. It's 24 hours a day. It's accessible.
Right.
But what's hard is actually having a relationship with someone who can help you become successful.
Right.
Especially, but it matters on who I'm talking to.
Right.
So listen, I used to have issues, right? I used to have major issues. So I used to talk to Baby Shooter about my issues, right? And he told me, he said, well, man, let's just go get a gun and shoot somebody. So I got to think, who am I talking to? Why am I even telling him about my issues? Because this is the advice he going to give me. It's like going to McDonald's and asking for a 2-piece spicy and a biscuit. They don't have it. So I got to be careful of who I hang around and who I'm asking to help me with certain stuff. Because as long as I talk to Pretty Ho and all them, like, hey, I'm a little short right now, what they gonna tell me? Hey, dance at the Rusty Nail up here in Gardena, just spin around the pole or something.
That's what I'm going through right now. Like, I just have no way to have an income coming in, but I'll ask like homies. They be like, "What? I know you know somebody that got some money. Set them up. I know you got somebody that got a empty bank account. Tell them let's do some checks. Like, I need my name. I need I need certain things that just gonna get me on in life. I can't just give it up because I need a couple $100 right now. Right. It's harder than that.
Right. Yes, indeed. Well, I appreciate you, Brother Terrence, doing the work that you do.
Yes, sir.
I think we can let Stevie Wonder take us into a break real quick and set us free. All right, so we're back. Appreciate you, brother. And our guests sitting here talking about careers and getting young people into careers. Do you guys think that's the answer? Do you think that all our people need right now is employment? Or do you think that a lot of people just say that and don't mean it?
I say that employment is going to be a big help. I'm not going to say that's going to be the answer, but it is a big help because the reason why they're hustling because they don't want to work a 9 to 5, but if they have something that they're interested in, then you don't work a day in your life. So that's why I feel like, we got to find something that we all enjoy. I don't know what it might be, but hustling every day for that money each day is not it, because then it brings on other problems for you. Instead of a career, you know that what your goal is to get bigger.
Right. I believe that employment will make a big impact too. It's not the only thing that we need, but it will make a big impact. It'll help a whole lot.
One of the things that I notice is that people always tell me they need to work, but then they show up high, show up late, show up drunk. They work 1 week and quit, things of that nature. They tell me, they say, oh, man, that's too far, man. Or I'm cool. I don't even want that. But what I do is I find them right outside here. I find them out on Crenshaw, right in front of the barbershop at Big Daddy Dave's, and they high, and they got pills in their pocket, and they got a cup, and they sipping on something. I don't know what's in the cup, but, but they tell me, like, that they just need a job. So
that's why I say that would make a big impact, and it ain't the only thing. Because I know for me, it goes deeper than that, and then basically a person needs to find their true identity, who they really are, where they really come from. Whatever spirit you tap in, as long as it's a power that's going to be greater than you, that's going to help you. As long as you tap into something, because we all blocked, with, like I say, based on ideals that we are taught and raised with, and we're really a lost race. Discombobulated, don't know how to unify, because we all believe that our ideals and belief system is the only correct one once we learn a new one. Rather than saying, oh yeah, so you Muslim, okay, that's cool, you Jehovah, but we still operate together in a spiritual sense. I'm not here to battle with you, just like they talking about I haven't kept up with it because it's really not important to me. It's something that's been existing.
What's that?
The Virginia thing and the Trump. I don't care what Trump do. Trump is there. It doesn't matter. to me. You know what I mean? What matters is where we at and how we living right now, because I know that Trump and the government is going to do what the government is going to do. And if we not together at all, there's nothing we can do about it. And it's like a smokescreen throwing all these issues out, which are important. I'm not saying they're not important, but it seems like every moment that something's happening in society, whether it be with us, the Black Lives Matter thing, something has to pop up to where now we're distracted with this topic that we're talking about now. Oh, Trump done said this, then something else happens. Oh, the police done killed this person. Oh, now Trump is talking about this with the Klan. Okay, the Klan ain't been doing this. What are we going to do? What are we going to do about this? You know, when I was in the penitentiary, I was grateful to meet some of the Aaron brothers and them that was straight up, because I knew where they stood. It's like what Malcolm said. If I'm in a cage, do I want to be having a wolf outside or a fox? The fox is going to be clever trying to hide. I want them ones that's going to be out there wolfing. I know you don't like me. Right.
I appreciate that too. I don't want, and nowadays, since the Klan done took their mask off, and they just out there, I appreciate it, because now I can look at an individual and say, man, I appreciate you letting me know that you're a part of this, as opposed to back in the 1950s and 60s, they covered themselves. They didn't want the world to know that these were corporation owners, and these were the sheriffs of different counties, and these were the politicians that were being voted into office. So I'm grateful that the Klan has taken off their cover, and the main one, Donald Trump. I'm glad that he's taken off his, and he said the things that he said the other day, because it can't be misinterpreted.
Right. Because what I mean by that too, everybody as a human being does deserve a chance in life, regardless of what they believe in. Because look, some of them, I can't hold them accountable because they were raised like that. Right. You were raised in the 20s. I was raised in the 40s. That's what we became. Right. In the past, we wouldn't have been sitting on no table. We would have been at each other's head. Right. But we learned some things that was unveiling the truth to us, that we learned how to accept. Right. And it was like, you're a pretty cool dude. You cool too. Right. We are in the waste of all these. So I can see that even with them. Even if they study their history and go back and see what all human beings come from, we all one race. Right. Just a different complexion. But
I think it's a purpose of why we're different colors. I won't get into that, though. I think that we got a team, say for when the Dodgers play the Red Sox, there's a reason why they wearing blue and they got on red socks. So you'll know we on the same team. True. But I don't think it comes to the point where I need to hurt anyone or harm somebody. So, and you mentioned Black Lives Matter, and I've never really been a supporter of Black Lives Matters. However, I support what they stand on. Yes, and what they stand on and what they stand for is not the hatred of white people or denouncing other races, but saying, hey, be aware that we shouldn't be killed by law enforcement. Society shouldn't. Like, for example, the guy, what's his name, Dylan Roof, he goes into a church and he shot 9 people. This is about 3 years ago. And they took him to Burger King, and then the judge says, well, let's pray for his family. But what about the 9 black people that were murdered? When we talk about Trayvon Martin, we talk about Michael Brown, Sandra Bland. So the basis of what Black Lives Matter really matters, and it makes sense. Right. But what happens is people say, well, that's a hate group. They hate white people.
Exactly.
And that's what kills me right there. Like, how do you not understand our position is not that of hate? Right. So if I love myself, I love my black people. Exactly. That's not that I hate other people. It's that... No, I knew that was coming. It's okay. It's all right, America. We know you're going to do that. But, it's just a matter of loving each other. So let me ask you guys a question. What do you think about having our own? What would it look like to have our own community, our own system, where we say, you know what, I don't want to hate anyone else, but I love black people so much that I'm going to get my hair done by your mom. I believe that. Your dad is doing the things to help with job development and stuff, so I'm going to go to your dad. Exactly. And we utilize each other. Taco Mel, he's a young black dude. The Fry Man down the street, Craig Baptiste. So I'm only going to eat with black businesses. Is that hateful? Is that hatred?
That's not hatred.
It's not hatred because you want to support your own. Right. But the way that other people are going to look at it is that we're only going to be pro-black. We don't support them no more. We're racist toward their race now because we're only supporting us. But it's like, I feel like out of all races, we need to be the most supported because we tear each other down so much. If it's not the internet, it's in person.
You guys are in a domestic violence relationship right now. She done took off, baby. You can't, not on film. The police can come. You on tape beating on him. You know what I mean? Right.
Elderly abuse.
Right. So you saying that other people would look at it different. Other people would
other
call
people,
us.
Just how like the Ku Klux Klan, how we look at it like them, but they're like, no, we support us and only us. Right. So now we're like, oh, y'all the Ku Klux Klan, y'all don't like black people, when they just trying to keep supporting themselves. I don't think it's no reason that they should hate us, because we just because we're trying to get along. So it's not really a point to like be violent, but we need to do what they do, and it's support us all the way. But don't forget that we are still in a whole road filled with other people.
Yeah, we need to learn how to do that. I mean, every other race is doing it. We need to learn how to support each other, have our own currency circulating amongst us.
Where does it start?
It starts right here in the environments, in the neighborhoods.
So tell me the black businesses that are up and along Vernon Avenue.
Well, Laylo that was on the show, she opened up Fat Daddy Burgers.
Fat Daddy Burgers.
Well, she's been hiring a lot of the sisters
on 48th and what?
On 48th and 2nd Ave, between Arlington and 2nd Ave. And
the dairy is right there.
Right next to the dairy.
Right next to the dairy.
Yeah.
She's black owned.
Black owned.
And what she make? What'd you say? Fat Daddy hamburgers. Okay, I'm gonna die. My arteries gonna get clogged, man.
Yeah, right.
So I'm gonna die happy though, supporting my black people. Right. Yeah. So, all right. Does she have anything healthy in there? Fat Daddy full of grease burgers on.
No, she got good burgers. Potatoes, she cut them up.
Cut them up, fresh potatoes. So it's not processed potatoes.
No, not processed. Fresh potatoes.
So let me ask you this. So I got some little young cats with me from Inglewood. A couple of dudes out the jungles. A couple of dudes off of Adams Boulevard.
Right.
I need them to be comfortable there. I need them to be comfortable and be able to go and spend money with that lady,
right?
And tell them that we're going to support black business. Now, of course, if I go, I know about 15, 20 guys off of Vernon and 48th, but if it's not those 15 or 20 I know, then now I can't protect them. You know, I can't say, I got this. You know, so how do we work on that?
That takes time in the process.
Okay,
it does, because we have to look at it that if the individuals that are going to come over there and help support, if they're really out here active,
right,
then it's like I would be leery. Like you still active? Why are you really over here?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So
you gotta find somebody good intentions.
Yeah. So a security is going to have to.
So once again, it's the spirit that they enter, even going to get that burger.
Right. It has to be.
So we got to change the spirit of our people.
Of our people, right?
So it's just deeper than just going on 48.
It's just deeper.
It's deeper than going to support the black business. Yeah. What is the spirit that we even have with each other?
Yeah, it's the universe.
I say, like, with doing that, like, if you want somebody outside that neighborhood to come in there, your best bet is to not have it in there. I mean, if you want everyone to come be a part of that, mutual is always good. Like, you down Crenshaw, you just be like, oh, we can go in here, like anybody's going in there. So I mean, you have not only white people, because it's all this fame that coming with Crenshaw, but you have people from the neighborhood that's gonna go in there just because of how popular it is. So I mean, the more popular it is, then the more people be like, just go in and out, call. You know, it's just small things that if you're really worth it, then they'll get to you.
Right. Yeah, they'll send somebody.
Like I said, if it's someone known that's out there active, of course, they shouldn't even want to take a chance to come. Right. You know what I mean? But if it's someone that's really about working and really taking care of their business, their family, you could tell by the way a person conducts themselves.
Right.
When I walk in the store, I no longer walk to where somebody gonna look and be like, "Where you from?" Oh, hey, what's up, bro? Hey, what's up? Because I've been in plenty stores where I'm like, these dudes, boy, they can, you know what I'm saying? But I'm grateful and I'm glad that God protects me, and I go in there with a certain behavior, a certain attitude, the way that I'm conducting myself.
Right. I used to live across the street from Johnny's Pastrami.
Right.
The apartment buildings behind the car wash, right? And I used to just watch. When I ain't had nothing to do, I was bored. I would just watch, and I'd say they bet, and I would be like, said the entertainer, I wish they would. And I would just sit in the safety of my building, just waiting to see, you know, anything that remotely looked like it shouldn't be there, right? And creep through the car wash and be on them within seconds, like a cheetah, right? Man. So I think about that. I think it's because it wasn't about them, though.
Yes, sir.
It was because I hated myself.
Yes, sir.
So it was a matter of if things were good, life is good, I've got a wife, kids, a house, and everything's beautiful, then I don't care who goes to Johnny's Pastrami. I don't care who is in the community, whether they got on blue or red. That doesn't matter to me. But when life wasn't good for me, when I wasn't married no more, I found out the kids wasn't mine, I don't have a job, a car no more. Now I'm sitting on the porch waiting. You know, so it has to do with, I don't want to say ego, but my self-esteem. You know, because you guys have said that earlier. But my self-esteem, if my self-esteem is low, how do I respond to the world is based on that. Now I want to hurt something or somebody. But if my confidence is there and my ego is up, they got to pass. I'm thinking about one time I actually had something in my pocket. I had Yaya. I ain't going to say what it was, but Yaya was in my pocket, And the guy catch me on Redondo in Washington, and he said, hey, you shouldn't be here. And he started banging on me. And when he banged on me, I felt so confident because I don't care if he could whoop me or not. I got Yaya in my pocket, the equalizer, that I sat there and started preaching to him and told him he shouldn't be doing that because, you know, his life is valuable too and you need to go home. But I didn't tell him, because I'll do you noodles right now. I didn't say that to him. I started lecturing to him, telling him he didn't need to be out here pressing the line. That, you know, I'm getting money and I'm doing this and he need to learn how to get money. And, you know, so I started preaching because life was good to me. And because my confidence was up. You know, Yaya made me feel like. So, you know, I say that to say that when we talk about ego, I think you brought up something that was really important, which is the spirit. What is the spirit that I even enter into this gas station, this hamburger stand, this radio show? What is the spirit that I wake up with and I take with me every day as I go down Crenshaw or Vernon or King Boulevard, whatever street I'm on? Does that make sense?
Spirit.
A humble spirit.
Humble.
Just humble
spirit.
It don't make you. When I first was beginning to practice that, you know, coming from out of the darkness and practicing humility.
I thought you was gonna say something else. Bro. I thought you was gonna when you said darkness.
No, no way, bro.
Right.
But when I was coming out of the darkness and getting back into the course of life, humility was hard for me to really practice because it makes you feel like a part.
Why so, brother?
Because
and you shaking your head, so I'm gonna ask you next too.
Because the ego was there, and some things, like I say, the ideals and some things, my mind says not to be accepted. So I have to have that pushed to the side to get some new ideals into my mind. You know what I mean? About what life is really about, what humility is really about. Like I said, in the past, I was taught that as a youngster, as a child. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me. Words, by people calling me certain things, got me into a lot of trouble. Because I felt the need that I got to take off, especially when the ego is being built and fueled by individuals. When you part of a hood or something, and you get placed on a position, so you think. Now I'm in the delusion that I'm one of the shock haulers. You feel what I'm saying? Really, that's an illusion. That's a puppet. Because when it hits the fan, you the fall guy.
I learned that in jail. Being the MAC rep. I seen all the MAC reps would always get thrown in the hole, or they'd be the first one stabbed when they go down. So when it was my turn to be the MAC rep, I talked to this dude. I'm sorry, Lightbulb, Letmate. I told Lightbulb, I said, nah, homie, you the man. I said, I'm going to help you, bro, but it's you. And I had to manipulate because I knew that, man, we done got down 3-4 times. And as soon as I represent myself as a MAC rep, somebody going to stab me, man. I already knew it, so I had to get at this other dude and say, man, sit on my bunk. Homie, we going to holler at you. But you the man. So I had to push him out there and make sure he knew he was the man. And eventually he went to the hole.
So you can be really ego-stroked with that.
I let him get his ego stroke. I don't want my ego stroke. I don't want to be out front. Because you know what happens out front? The knives I pull out my back be the ones who's right behind me. Like I said, I want to get people ready in anger management to go on the bus, to go on the train, and them ain't the fights that they having. The fights they having are the ones that they have at home. Just like in our community, the fights we having is with our own people.
Excuse me, I got to change.
So I want to ask the same question anyway. When I was talking about the spirit, and you was talking about humility don't come easy, and you were shaking your head. Can you expand on that?
I'd say, like, some things, like how you saying, like me, I don't have nothing to lose. I don't have no kids. I don't have no job right now. I have nothing that I feel like if I go so hard that no, it's nothing that's going to be, you know, no loss. It's not a loss that I'm going to take. But I feel like, just like how you said that you sit there and you're talking to someone, it's because you already know what you're capable of. You already know how high you stand. You've been through so much that you don't have to show a little boy that's getting here that he has to show that he's that guy. Any type of activity, like you waved him off pretty much because it's like it's not that serious for you. You have a bigger goal in life, and that's not to sit here and keep fighting with these little boys. They need to fight with someone that's just as rowdy as them. You've been there, done that.
Right. So
I say for me, when I go up or I get upset, I just be like, I have nothing to lose. So it's like that's what's not good for me, because I know since I have nothing to lose, that makes me go harder and it could get worse. It's just my way of how I be thinking when I'm out there. It's like, don't push me so hard that I be like, I have nothing to lose, so it's whatever.
I didn't hear that from you. Because when you first sat down, I heard, even though you're a beautiful young lady, I heard the child in you when you talked about your father. So you might be this young lady, whatever out here, but when I talk about your daddy, you get like this, like I'm a daddy's girl. So when you say you have nothing to lose, but you have the little brother, there's a nephew that's looking up to your little brother,
but it's not
right
mine.
now. But you could lose that. So let me ask you a question then. Let me ask you this question. Would you be willing to die for your daddy, for your mama, for your brother and your nephew? You would be willing to die for them. You ain't even think twice about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some time to think about it. Do you need it?
No, not at all.
You'd be willing to die for them.
And that's just because we're my loyalty and that's of course my family, but that's just, I don't mind that for not a lot of people, but for people that I grow to love, like I don't mind giving up my life before yours, because I feel like something that had to go right there. And if it was me, I don't have much. You have a family, you have kids, you have whatever. You already in that movie, you already got it. I don't have nothing, so It's not like I'm leaving down a child.
So let me share with you when you stood up like this, like, yeah, I died for him. I saw everything but your fingers, right? But you were like, I'll die for him. But these people that I named, think about it. I said your mom, your dad, your little brother, and your nephew. Those are the same people that need you to live for them. Those are the same people that need you to make the decision that you'd be willing to live and not die. So the next time you thinking about going hard, like, whatever, go hard, these are the people that need you to make a different decision to calm it down, bring it down a notch, slow down, killer. Just come on home tonight. No matter what happens, these are the same people that need you to be not dead or in jail. If they get a phone call from you, they'd rather it be the phone call saying, I'm in Vegas, I'll be back Saturday, Sunday. But they don't want the phone call like, yeah, I'm in jail and I think it's all bad. I hope they didn't die. Or even the phone call from Pookie or somebody like, hey, I ain't going to tell you what happened, but you need to get over here real quick. You know, does that make sense? Yeah,
it does, because I know those are the people that are in my life that care about me the most.
Right.
I just when I'm out there, of course I'm always thinking about myself, which is selfish.
Yes. Right.
But it's just like, I don't know why I go about it like this, but it's just, I don't know. I just feel like they have my mother and father. They have, other than my brother, other than me, they have my brother. So where I messed up, you make sure that he's doing right. Other than that, then it's like, I'm gonna do this on my own. Learn from my bad and my good.
I wish you knew better.
Because you knew better, you do better.
Right. If you knew better, you do better. Because this table often sits mothers whose children have been murdered. At this table, we have mothers whose children have spent 20, 30 years in prison. At this table, we also have men and women who come to the table who have spent more than half of their life incarcerated. You have the ability. You are so lucky in age. I mean, we ain't far from each other's age, though. I'm close to your age. But you have the ability to get it all going without having to go through. You don't have to experience it. You could learn from the experiences of guys like Terrence.
Yeah, because I've never been in jail, never have been close to death like that. I've been in a car accident, but it wasn't like I'm dying. Right. So it's like, I've been blessed. I know I've been blessed. I've been in situations where it's like...
So why would you ruin that?
I don't know. It's just when I be, like I said, I'm selfish. When I'm out in there, it's not I've tried to stay calm, but it's like those little things that just be like, it just keep.
Is it ego?
Ego? Maybe it could be an ego, but I don't feel like it's ego because I don't feel like I have to be that person. Right. I just feel like I have to let you know that I'm not no game.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I don't know. It's just
you know what? I'm more like a hall monitor at school. Mm-hmm. I give out passes all the time. I just give out passes like bless your heart. Mm-hmm. This is my word for people. So I look at people when they done said something really stupid, and I'm thinking to myself, use one ignorant son of a what. Instead of that coming out, I just look at them, smile, and say bless your heart. Mm-hmm. So that way I can't be misinterpreted. Brother Terrence, I'm gonna ask you to come back so I can ask you: is there any one thing that you want to leave our viewers with? We're gonna clock out. I know Miracle will be happy to leave.
I appreciate the viewers for tuning in. Thank you for your patience with Miracle.
Right.
Just blessings to everybody.
Yes, indeed. It's going to take a miracle.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. And what do you want to leave the viewers with? Is there anything you want to say that, to all the people who, and you probably going to get about 200-300 people looking at this, right? And they're going to be looking at you, and there's going to be little girls. And like I said, Leah was here last mm-hmm. week, and she was 12. Mm-hmm. So I wish you'd have been here last week, because what would you tell her? What would you tell her? As I'm sure she's looking and she's thinking, oh, man, I'm going to get me some earrings, and I'm going to put my pants like that. So what would you tell her?
I don't even know. That's something like that. I would want to give her like something that she can take for her throughout her whole life, but then know how to go about it. Like I wouldn't know because I feel like I'm still figuring it out, and I feel like every day I'm learning. That's one thing with me. I learn every day. It's not one day I don't go without learning something. Right. If it's bad or good, I'm learning it. So I don't know.
Well, that's a good thing.
I don't know.
Always learning. Mm-hmm. Right. So I am too. So the one thing I want to leave everybody with is, first of all, I want to say that there is a candlelight vigil this evening for the young fellow who was killed yesterday by the sheriffs. It's on 115th and Slater. And just like that hamburger stand on 48th Street, everybody can't go over there on 115th and Slater. But if you are interested in supporting the family tonight, please do. Also, for those of you who might be feeling down, depressed, and thinking there's no way out, I just want to share with you, Earth, Wind, and Fire says that we should keep our heads to the sky, and that's what's going to happen. Keep your head to the sky. Thank you, guys, and we're going to pray for Sister Herron and pray for your other guest that was coming. It's a blessing to have this guest here. So I'm blessing to have you too, Miracle. Wave to the people.
Say thank you.
And Gang Talk Radio, if God willing, we'll be back next week.
All right.
Yes, indeed.